Welcome to MHO Hotel Insight, where our distinguished panelists keep you well informed. I have the pleasure of sitting here with Brandy Connor from My Hotel Reputation and an MHO team member, as well as Mark Soblik, Vice President of Hospitality for A1 American. Mark, A1 American, being a leading global manufacturer, supplier, source for products within the hospitality industry, you've got to get questions all the time about the supply chain disruptions. I know you're at the Jacob Javits Convention Center, where there's a huge hotel convention now. I'm sure anybody you walk through the show and they see you and they say, Mark, what's going on with the supply chain disruptions? What is going on with the supply chain disruptions? And is this thing ever going to be remedied?
That's a great question. So I think it's really the perfect storm right now. We're up against everything from labor shortages to raw material shortages to one of the highest prices that we're seeing on oil. There are vessel shortages, there's lane shortages, there are shortages of drivers being able to unload the containers. Then domestically there's freight issues. So everything compounded together has really created this global phenomenon that's really hit the supply chain hard. We've been dealing this since Q1 of 2021. Experts are saying that this is going to spill over into Q2, Q3 of 2022, potentially longer. Nobody really has that crystal ball to be able to know that. Really a strong sense and grasp and pulse on what's going on in the global economy, both as importers, as manufacturers, and as domestic distributors. So our perspective would be, we are really up against a unique situation, but I think a lot of it falls into pre-planning and being proactive with forecasting, really getting to know what your anticipated purchases are going to be through the upcoming next 12 months and planning accordingly, not just in time, but 3 months, 6 months in advance of when you're going to need the product.
What advice can you tell me to improve my operations and sustain profitability during this supply chain crisis?
I think it all falls back to planning. I think having been an operator for the past 20 years, typically you would make purchases for the month at the beginning of the month as an operator. Now we're seeing a shift. It's really a great pivot where instead of ordering in the beginning of January for January or February, you're ordering for January for March and April as well. So a lot of it is flexibility as an end user. If you ordered a particular towel, for example, in the past, and that towel may not be available due to raw material shortages or production shortages, a similar towel may also do the trick as well. So I think there's a little bit of flexibility needed as an operator, but also I think forecasting and planning accordingly is really detrimental at this time.
Can you predict on that? Are you getting better with this supply chain disruptions? We're saying, you know what? Right now, there's been a 90-day delay on this particular product. Is it that, or it's not that much of a science yet?
It is. I think one of the benefits that A1 happens to bring to the table is, again, through our vertical integration, but also through our supply network. We have manufacturing facilities located throughout not only Asia, but we also have manufacturing globally as well. So if there's an impact area, say in China, we can pivot to manufacturing in Bangladesh or Pakistan or India, which allows us to be nimble in that regard. Some other manufacturers don't have that luxury of having multiple supply channels. So, and we also have distribution points. We can bring in containers. Right now Long Beach is heavily affected. I think they're saying somewhere upwards of 500,000 containers that still have to be unloaded at port. So we have access to New York, New Jersey ports. We have access to Jacksonville, to Miami, to Houston, to Savannah. So a lot of it is diversion and being able to utilize other channels into and inlays into the country in order to bring product inside. So I think again, it's the planning aspect is crucial at this time. And so that's what we're seeing as the solution.
I know you supply so much to the industry. You're such a huge company, and that saying, inspect what you expect. And I know you can't open up every container to say, oh, these are the goods, but how do you handle that type of stuff? Overall quality control.
So this industry is extremely human-driven versus some other sectors that are more technology-driven. This has a very interpersonal component about it. So I mean, there's human error. That's sort of par for the course. I think where we come in is because we have control over from manufacturing through distribution, we're able to trace every aspect of the production from procurement of yarns all the way to the delivery. So if there is an issue with product or a customer is dissatisfied, we have the ability to call into lot numbers. Everything is traced via number through the manufacturing process. So we can actually pinpoint somewhere in the manufacturing process. And through quality control, the traceability is key. So we have full inspections upon manufacturing in the actual factories themselves, unloading of the containers. When it gets into the warehouse, things are inspected again.
And I know once it gets into the hotel, if there's an issue, and the person writes on I don't think they do comment cards anymore, right? I'm dating myself, but they put on social media, on Google or TripAdvisor, it's an issue. And so with that question, let me turn to Brandy Connor of My Hotel Reputation and ask you, so if some issue becomes, with MHO hotels, someone says, oh, well, I didn't like the dispensary for the shampoo, it didn't come out properly or whatever. How do you handle that with My Hotel Reputation?
Yeah, with MHO hotels, a great way that we can kind of intersect that feedback is as soon as the guest checks out, we send them a text message or an email and we ask them how their stay was and how their experience was. So if they had a problem with anything at the property, then they have the opportunity to then rate their experience. So if it's positive, everything was fine, then that review will automatically go online. But if they have any problems with, say, some products or supplies or even the customer experience, then that feedback will actually stay in-house and go directly to the hotel staff so they can address it offline. So it's a nice way that it gets intersected first before it goes online, and those things can be addressed in a positive and professional way.
Oh, very good, very insightful. Thank you. Let me turn back to Mark again. So I realize with such a large company you're dealing with Marriott's and Hilton's, et cetera, and especially with the HOA members who own 60% of the hotels in the United States, some of them, those hotels, although there's Hamptons and Fairfields and IHG products, brands, et cetera, but you also have the smaller hotels, a 42-room hotel, a motel, independent hotel. How do you accommodate the buying dynamics for those type of hotel owners?
Sure. So we have the availability of smaller case packings to accommodate everything from a bed and breakfast to a vacation rental property to a small 25-room exterior corridor property, all the way through to 600, 800-room resort hotels, casino hotels, and really everything in between. We do our teeth were cut really on the independent, smaller hotel sector, more so than it is in the large-scale big box hotel. So we have very low minimum freight charges for free shipping. We have the availability again of smaller case packings to accommodate a smaller room count. We allow for monthly deliveries, even weekly deliveries, so you're not having to be forced into spending $2,000, $3,000 on a purchase. We have smaller order sizes, so we really do cater towards that smaller hotel. That is really our niche market. And I think we have a lot of systems in place with that one-on-one service level. You have a designated rep who you deal with all the time. They get to really know your property, your ordering needs, and your clientele. So they can really cater a program directly towards what you're looking for as a hotel operator.
Yeah, well, that's great. I didn't realize that. So you really have a cross-section of hotel owners, that's for sure.
We really do.
Yeah. Well, that's wonderful. So one quick question. With so many suppliers to our industry, how do you remain competitive?
We're not just a distributor, we're a manufacturer and a distributor. So I think we're able to pull on latest trends, and we really can cater our product line and our product assortment to what's going on, with sustainability and new performance technologies. We really have a pulse on things with not only retail trends, but we try to figure out a way to parlay retail trends into things that really create longevity with product in the commercial laundering sector as well. I think it's product differentiation. It's really, we're a diverse company, so we deal with, we have not only diverse customers, but we also have our internal team makeup is from all different backgrounds and with many years of compounded experience. I think that really gives us a different perspective. My background being in the operational side, I think that lends to a different perspective as well. And we have that throughout every layer of our company, just very unique perspectives in this industry.
Well, thank you so much, Mark and Brandy, for participating on MHO Hotel Insight. We'll be back with more episodes on MHO Hotel Insight. Stay tuned.